most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. Look no further. He's right here, folks. We're having a tough night as Raiders fans, but we're having a great night as MMA fans because, my God, we got LFA tomorrow and we got UFC the very next day. I feel like a kid in a candy shop, bro. So without further ado, how the fuck are you feeling today, brother?
Hey, I mean, mixed feelings, like you said. Not so good about my Raiders, botching it as always. That's to be expected. But absolutely excited to be here with you. Absolutely excited to be here with the crew. You know what to do. We're going to dive on into these fights. Violence is ahead of us. And if anything, we keep on going and we keep on growing. I just wish the Raiders would take some of that, man. Oh, I'm going to cry. Oh, my God. But I digress. I'm excited, brother.
It's hard to be a Raiders fan these days. It's even harder to be a Saints fan these days. We're on track to have our worst season or tie for our worst season in the history of the NFL. Of course, that season came in 1980 at 1-15. And man, if we keep it up, we're trending to hit just that again. I'm gonna put the UFC Mexico music on. We need to pump the mood up a little bit here. But with that being said, let's just stop talking about the sadness that is in NFL and the teams that we love. And let's move on into the sport that we love. Moving past a weird, fishy, bad taste in our mouth kind of week with all the betting scandals. I will tell you the one good thing to come out of this is I found out now, I know we actually don't suck at betting. The fights are all rigged. That's it. It's not us, it's them.
It evens out. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. We'll take what we can get.
All the ones we lost, those were the rigged ones. I guarantee you guys. I guarantee it.
We were not on the rigged side, okay? Let it be known.
We had no idea. We were not in on the fix.
We were not.
We did not get the script. We didn't get the memo, folks.
Dana's not knocking on our doors. We're good.
With that being said, let's jump into this welterweight bout main event between Gabriel Bonfim and Rude Boy Randy Brown. My guy. Beat down Randy Brown. He's our guy. He's been in the podcast a couple times in the live chat. We had the pleasure of meeting him as well at Vegas, and just a class act through and through. What a guy. But he's in here against the real monster in Gabriel Bonfim. I'm curious, Nano, I'll let you take the lead on this one. How do you see this fight playing out, and who do you see walking away with their hand raised?
Hey, absolute banger. Like you said, shout out Rude Boy. He not only has been in the chat, he's not only shouted us out on his own channel, but I think the biggest thing that really hit home for me was the fact that he saw us in line and then made a comment. We came up and he said, I recognize you guys. I've seen your faces. That's all we needed to hear, man. That little extra boost is all it takes. Real quick, shout out Miss Mary. We see you. Let's go, indeed. And WMC, hey, right back at you, brother. Let's go. Can't wait to dive on in. We're starting at the top. Let us know how you feel about this. No bars held here. Let us know. I mean, we are a little biased. Let's call a spade. And I was a guy that was high on the Bonfim brothers, right? I mean, we've been talking about them for a while. Now we're talking about Gabriel as the main event of the evening. But he's got his guy. He's got a tough opponent in front of him, Mr. Randy Rude Boy Brown. And that's where I'm leaning. Okay, I'm taking the older veteran here. He is 7 years older. They're both coming off wins. 4-1 for Mr. Rude Boy, and also 4-1 for Mr. Gabriel Bonfim in their last few fights. And it's one of those things, like, the hype can only take you so far. I think I want to start there. I do like Gabriel Bonfim and what he's shown in the UFC, and everything's still in front of him. But Tapology agrees. That's, with 63% voting for Randy Rude Boy Brown. Most of them taking him by KO, TKO. That is interesting. That is probably, it's always the best path to victory, right? You want to go out there, put your opponent's lights out. Don't leave it to the judges' scorecards. They've been a little crazy recently. But stylistically, man, I just think Randy Rude Boy has an answer for everything that Gabriel does. Now, unless Gabriel's going to go out there and hurt him, quicker path to submission by all means. He is a jiu-jitsu artist, but I am taking Randy Rude Boy Brown to shock the world, not us degenerates, not us true Tapology fans. But I think the reason being is, again, like, he can do everything great. He is well-rounded. He's long. He's strong, and he's down to get the friction on, as we like to say around here. But I do just think, styles make fights, and he's going to have answers. Like, even his loss against the Brian battle was a split decision. Brian, I think he missed weight or just was not even in the UFC anymore.
By 5 pounds.
So he's basically fighting a freaking light heavyweight at that point. But I love what I'm seeing from Randy Rude Boy. He's constantly in the lab. We see it firsthand. He's always working on his skills, constantly sharpening his iron saw there. He's going to have 6 inches of reach advantage. I'm curious if you think he's going to try to keep him at bay and at least win from a scoring perspective. But I do think he has all the tools. He has the skills. He has the mindset. He has that aura. And Gabriel Bonfim, I think he's good, but is he great? That's my question. If he goes out there and he's dominant and earns a victory, sure, I'll go ahead and I'll take a big shot at my Lagavulin, come next week, because I'll eat my words. But until then, I need to see it to believe it. And hell would have to freeze over before I bet against a Randy Rude Boy Brown. Come on, man. Let's be real. But I like it, man. It's a fun matchup. Very fun matchup. 2 dogs, and they are trending in the right direction. They know it's at stake, and it's a potential ranked opponent next. So it's like the Super Bowl. We're, to use football terms here, as the Raiders are getting spanked around. This is a championship game. Everything's going to be pulled out. No stops. Leave it all out there. But I like Rude Boy, man. I think his style, his boxing, his jiu-jitsu, his Muay Thai, his kickboxing, again, he does everything well. And I think if we're being honest, if we just stack out the accolades, I think Randy Rude Boy Brown is a higher ranked and does everything just a little bit better. It's a game of inches around here, right? It's just a little.
I agree with you.
Talk to me, brother. Lay it on us. Give us a good breakdown. How you feeling about this one?
Honestly, bro, I think great breakdown. I agree with everything you said. I'm just going to tie a couple cherries on top. To be honest, I think you said it great. Gabriel Bonfim, he's a good fighter, right? But I don't think he does anything really great. Whereas Randy Brown is a good fighter that does a couple things really great. One of the things that I think he does greatest is the ability that he has to keep the distance. He does this thing where it's not the fencer jab where you throw the winged punch, but more so like a classic boxer where he really elongates into it and he steps outside while he's doing it. So he'll look to do that and walk his opponent down in Gabriel Bonfim. And he does have a 5.5, almost 6 inch reach advantage. So I do think he's going to stay on the outside, pick shots, probably look to use the teep kicks and up kicks, just to, again, keep Gabriel at bay. As long as he can stay off his back, and I make no mistake about it, I do think Gabriel gets at least one takedown on him. The issue is, this guy's scrambling is extremely underrated. And I think that's going to prove to be a problem for Gabriel Bonfim. I think if he cannot keep Randy down, I hope he packed a lunch, because it's going to be a very, very long night for him inside of the octagon, especially with it being a 25-minute fight. I think we've seen Gabriel gas in the past, and we haven't really seen that happen to Rude Boy before. His cardio continues to get better every fight, just like most of his skills do. I think this should be a fairly handy win for our guy, Rude Boy Randy Brown. And if we look at the odds right now on DraftKings, let's see here. I believe Randy is still an underdog. Plus 145 for Randy Rude Boy Brown. So that means you put 1 unit on him, you get 2.45 back. $50 turns into 122.50. Not a bad deal. We are putting a half unit on him for certain. Actually, I think we may have accidentally put a unit on him. Yeah. Which I'm not mad at. Happy accident.
Yeah, we got it at the best odds possible. It did go down a little bit. That goes to show that there is some more money late coming in on Rude Boy. And then let the odds speak for themselves. It is closer than Vegas originally thought, and much closer than I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take those units and run with it. Absolutely. Take it to the bank, baby.
100%, man. 100%. And speaking of bias, speaking of betting with our hearts and not our brains necessarily, we have a flyweight bout to talk about, folks, and it is a co-main event that I am very excited about. We're talking about a Matt Danger Schnell coming in here against Joseph Morales. I've been a Matt Danger Schnell fan since he was on MTV's Caged. And when this boy's fighting, let me just tell you, come on, it feels like a classic fight night, folks. I can't wait for this one. I genuinely can't wait. Matt Schnell is either going to go out there and starch this guy, or Joseph Morales is going to beat Matt Schnell and get a title shot, because that's what happens when you beat Matt Schnell. You get a title shot. It doesn't matter if he's ranked, unranked, somewhere in between. Doesn't matter. You beat Matt Schnell, you do get a title shot in the next two fights. Now, how do I see this one going? 17-9, Matt Schnell. He's 7-7-1 in the UFC, I believe. And Joseph Morales is 14-2. This is his second UFC stint. Made it to the UFC, got ejected from the UFC. He had a fabled fight a long time ago against a man you might remember the name of Davison Figueiredo. Of course, he did not win that fight. But valiant effort from the man, and he got cut. Then he went on to shine in other promotions, worked his way back into the tough series, and then won the series against a plus 600, I believe, plus 650, or as a plus 650 dog against the Russian. Yeah, we bet on him. We cashed on that one. And again, let's fucking go, boys. I'm going Matt Danger Schnell here. I just genuinely think that even with only a 1-inch reach advantage, he knows how to use it. And if Joseph Morales is not able to make this a nasty, grindy clinch fight, Matt's going to box him up, bro. Matt has nasty boxing, underrated boxing. And if Joseph Morales, for even a half second, Nano, if for a half second Joseph Morales thinks that he's going to be able to slouch for even just a half second on top doing jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu, he's going to get fucking triangled, bro. We saw it happen to Stu Mudarji after I'm pretty sure Matt Schnell got knocked out 6 times on the feet and still fought and won that fight, covered in his opponent's blood. I can't fucking wait for this one. I'm obviously hyped as a motherfucker. I am betting on Matt Schnell. I put a half unit on him. I got him in a 3-leg parlay. Nano, kick me off the damn stool. How do you see this one playing out?
I don't know if I'll kick you off the stool, but I may have to do a little tabletop action here. I may sweep it from under you because I hate going against you. I feel like we've been hive minding in so many ways. We talked about it offline, a little more personal. But now, all jokes aside, I mean, this is a fun matchup. It's a co-main event for a reason. Matt Schnell never disappoints. He is always going to go out there and seek violence. And he's looking to make a name for himself, at least reiterate his name, because let's call it what it is. He was on a 3-fight losing streak, finally got that bounce back win against a Jimmy Flick. And I think when you look at the opponents, like you talked about, a lot of them were fighting for the title or making their way up and continuing to climb the ladder. A Mateus Nikolai, who knocked them out. Steve Erceg, who looked unstoppable at that stage in his career. A Cody Durden, who is just always down to get dirty. You know, dirty Durden over there. But, man, maybe part of it is the fact that you're from Louisiana. You're going for Louisiana, boy. I got to go for the guy who represents Sacramento. I got to go with Joseph Morales. He is the Ben favorite here, a.k.a. Bopo. We've seen him on the Contender Series. He got the choke against a really tough opponent who really I counted him out in that fight. Let's call it what it is. Didn't know if he had the tools, and I'm all about, hey, I need to see it to believe it. Well, I got to put my money where my mouth is. I saw it. Now I have to believe it. You're absolutely right. To the roof. And we'll see what he does in terms of his career. I mean, he's 31 years old. Matt Schnell is 35, so he's on the back nine when it comes to that peak, that ideal age to go out there and continue to get better. So at this stage,
I say he's at the very edge of it. 32 to 35 is like fight prime, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
30, hey, like some people make 36 to 38 work, but I mean,
I was going to say, yeah, we've seen 36, 37, 38.
That's more often in like light, heavy, and heavyweights, though, yeah?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Not to discredit him, but we know that Joseph Morales, fine with Team Alpha Male, a little bit more youth to his name on a 4-fight win streak, which half of those aren't even in the UFC. So I'm not going to necessarily sit here and say he's some steamroller for Mola necessarily, but I think stylistically he has enough grit. He has the skills, and I do think from a game plan perspective, he's going to be able to go out there and at a minimum win the judge's scorecard just by the looks of things, being able to take down, being able to counter when need be. If he needs to get some takedowns, maybe Schnell is building some momentum. He has answers for it. And that's where I do think that Joseph Morales will end up finding a path to victory. But I do think this is going to be fireworks as long as it lasts. Probably will go the distance. Schnell's tough as nails. Joseph has a gas tank. I can see the judges being involved here, and I do think it's going to be razor thin and maybe a little contrarian. Maybe, that Sacramento, that Cali native in me wants to just go ahead and root for the Cali kid. But I do got to address some in the comments here. WMC has a big question. Why does grown men, and I appreciate you calling us that. Yeah, you got my big boy pants on here, using the word aura. That should be reserved for witchy chicks in middle school. Not wrong.
Ew, WMC, it's giving the ick.
Giving the ick. And maybe I'm glazing a little bit, but what I will say,
it's a D1 glazer.
D1 glaze over here. Glazer. Well, we're trying to appeal to all audiences. Okay, WMC. I mean, obviously, if we're talking candidly offline, you may hear some different language.
Nano's obviously the young and hip one.
As can be. I mean, let's call it what it is.
It's not me.
I'm 30-something nowadays. Huh? I ain't no spring chicken, as a wise man once said. But we got to appeal to all audiences, and we want to be in the know and relate to everybody. And then that's a buzzword, so we go ahead and go for it.
So
lazy bed.
6'7".
Perfect time for the 6'7". I mean, it's just... I'm with you. And WMC, if we're speaking candidly, I will be sure not to remind you of how much aura you guys oozing through the veins there. But he's a dog, if you like that a little bit more. Not to backtrack too much here, but yeah, man. I mean, this is a fun fight. Co-main event, which honestly I appreciate. Like Schnell getting the co-main event nod. Joseph Morales, it almost feels like a little bit of a big jump for him to get that kind of
even on an Apex card, it's huge to be back in the UFC for one fight, and then you're like, and he started off UFC Noche, to being the co-main event, like from the talk about bottom to the top.
Literally started from the bottom. Now we're here, and it was quick, man. But I do think when you break it down, like he is skilled, he's talented, he's quick, he has all the tools to go out there and be somebody in the division, and this is. On paper, like one of those matchups where if he wins, like you said, I don't know if the title shot's next, but he will be able to earn that next step up. But Schnell is no slump. He is no
Schnell's no slouch.
Slouch. That's the word I was looking for. Oh man, I was struggling there, but
Schnell's not a slum. All right, guys.
Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, man. I mean, this is exactly what I think it's going to be. It's going to be fireworks. It's why it's a co-main event of the evening. And that's because we're going to see violence for at least 15 minutes. I'm leaning Joseph here. I could be wrong. He is the Ben favorite. That is news to me. Honestly, I thought Schnell would have been. But that's why we are not the ones making the odds. And a lot of Tapology believes, at least 89% of you Tapology goers there believe that Joseph Morales will go out there and beat Schnell.
A lot of Schnell hate, what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's a lot of slander. A lot of slander right now, unfortunately. A lot of disrespect.
Doesn't feel good.
Hey, man.
Doesn't feel good.
If anyone's going to use some bulletin board material, it's going to be a Schnell. Like, oh, you want to rule me out? You heard me?
Let me show you. Hear me?
You heard me?
Yes, sir.
That's gonna be a fun one, brother. I can't wait to see it. Man, yeah, give me Bopo. Unfortunately,
it's gonna be a firecracker. I'm glad you brought in the Schnell's no slump kind of jokes, because I got one for the next one. We have a welterweight bout between Muslim Salikhov, the king of kung fu, coming in against Uros, the Dr. Medic. And I'll be honest with you, by the time the king of kung fu is done with him, I think Uros is going to need a doctor and or medic. Nano, I'm going to let you do your breakdown first. I'm going to pour our first shot of the show up for this one, because I have a weird sneaking suspicion that this one could end up being knockout of the night.
I mean, it could be weird to some people, but if you're familiar with the Muslim Salikhov and the king of kung fu and what he does to people, it's not too weird in my book. But that's just me speaking here candidly. This is a fun one. And it's crazy to think I'm going to take another older fighter. If you know, I typically like the young guns. There are statistics that at least validate that, but that's just numbers on paper. Those numbers and those AI, AWS people, they're not in the octagon making the fights, doing the fights. And that's why I am taking the King of Kung Fu. Not going to bet against King of Kung Fu. And I will say Uros Medic, you might need to call the ambulance because he might get hurt in this one. This is an interesting matchup. I'm glad it's on a main event. I'm glad that we're getting this because it is a true tale of two tapes. We got the young buck that's trending in the right direction. But at the same time, he did get knocked out by Puna Haley Soriano. So even just from a boxing perspective, you put some heavy mitts on him. The doctor has some issues. He needs some other doctors. He might go into cardiac arrest himself. But then you enter the chat of Muslim Salikhov, a badass Russian who is 41 years old. And like we kind of alluded to earlier, sometimes, that unk power it sticks with you. And when you have the technique, when you haven't really taken a lot of bad losses, I mean, to bring up our boy Rude Boy again, he's the only one that really stumped Muslim Salikhov since he began his career in the UFC. He did lose to Nicholas Dalby, but that was a close, tight-knit matchup there. On a 3-fight win streak, and he's beat some big names.
Dalby doesn't lose to Brazilians, especially not in Brazil.
So
it's like sea-level Kane or salon quality Poirier.
Exactly.
Like those are mythical fighters that we know exist. Like Dalby versus a Brazilian is one of them.
You take it to the bank and you don't ask questions. You run with the money. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun matchup, but I like the Muay Thai style. I like the King of Kung Fu. And Uros is going to have to put on a clinic, if you will. He's going to have to go out there, use the jiu-jitsu, use that defense that I don't know if we've really seen him press in that sense. Yes, he's been knocked out. He also got neck cranked by Mikdek Oralbai. Oralbai, man. Absolute stud. And again, it's like that, just reading those out loud, it's like I can't sit here and go against the odd makers. I can't sit here and make a case for the doctor to go out and do something that he really hasn't done in the UFC yet. Again, I got to see it to believe it. And what I've seen from Muslim Salikhov is absolute violence, no wearing down as far as the age is concerned. Like, he still looks great. Might have that LeBron James gene. I don't know. Maybe that Tom Brady gene. But these wrestlers, man, they don't mess around. So all jokes aside, speaking about styles specifically, I just think Muslim is going to go out there and put on a clinic, and Uros is going to do his best to try to, lead the dance and get in front of his opponent and land the heavier shots. But I just think point for point, style for style, and just mano-y-mano, I can't bet against the King of Kung Fu, Muslim Salikhov. I have a feeling you're not going to knock me off the stool here. You might put some ice on my back. You might be giving me everything I need to hear. But let the people know how you feeling about this and what you see happening come Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm cheering your thoughts on, brother. I'm right alongside you. I think Uros, the doctor medic, is going to need a doctor and or medic after this fight. I just think the King of Kung Fu is better than him. There's only a 1-inch reach disadvantage for the King of Kung Fu coming into this one, even though his opponent is much taller than him, to the tune of 4 inches. He will be punching up, but more often than not, he's actually leading with his kicks. So that spinning back wheel kick will be there for him all day. He's fighting an opponent that usually wades forward into the pressure with his hands below his chin. So he does do a good job of protecting his chin, but not the temples. And that's where that back heel is going to spin and connect when he does inevitably throw that spinning back wheel kick that he's so fond of. Another thing is Uros, again, leaves his head very straightforward. He's a linear fighter, not a side-to-side fighter. He moves very forward and back. He keeps his head on the center line when he throws strikes and when you're throwing strikes back at him. So, again, I think his head will be right there for the hitting all day. And that's a recipe for disaster going against somebody that is sniper-like, even at 41, almost 42 years of age, in Muslim, the King of Kung Fu, Salikhov. I like Salikhov in this one. I like him even more as a plus 124 dog. I'm going to throw a unit on him. I think that makes a lot of sense. I even think if Dixon Sider were in the chat, he'd probably agree with us here. But I digress. Before we move into the next one, let's jump into the chat real quick. Lazy Bet said, completely irrelevant and off topic, but did anyone else see the dude tonight that broke the record for tallest man to ever play D1 college basketball? Florida Gators, I believe. Bro is 7'9". Holy shit.
Yeah, Olivier Rio, or I don't know how to say it, Rieux. Maybe you know how to pronounce that better
Rio?
than me. Rio?
Ryu?
Ryu?
You clear your throat a little bit. Ryu?
Ryu?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Absolute stud. Yeah, I mean, listen, y'all. 7'9".
That's nasty.
That is unreal. That is unreal behavior out there. And I guess I could only say I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Reference my boy Nate Diaz behind me. Reason being, I mean, you're just seeing it more and more. And I think we've lived long enough on this earth to know that everyone's getting bigger, better, stronger. And this is a perfect example of that. I mean, just look at Wembanyama, Victor Wembanyama in the actual professional league, playing for the Spurs. Sorry, my stand-up desk is giving me issues here.
It's fighting back.
He's 7'3". Now he's 7'4". And he moves like a freaking point guard, and he's athletic.
That's nasty.
This is that next iteration. I'm trying to think. There was another basketball player that was not as tall as 7'9". I mean, dude, that's unreal. I think even if you're big for a basketball player, if you're 6'9", but he moves well. I think that's the moral of my story here. He's still young. He's grown into his body, but he's an absolute dog. And that just goes to show, like, everyone's, at least in time and generations, like, everyone always lives in their era. But the reality is people are always getting bigger, better, stronger. And that's a perfect example of that. And that's coming from someone that, grew up playing basketball, was in an NBA basketball league, fantasy basketball league for 2 years. I won one of the years, but too much fantasy football these days gets me, off my high horse. But what did you think about that, Lazy Bed? I mean, are you a big basketball guy? Are you tuned in? Are you a Gators fan? Shout out Florida. Like,
I was born there.
How did this come onto your radar? And do you think that translates? Again, you look at a Victor Wembanyama, certainly can suggest, you don't need to be a Shaq, or Yao Ming, who are the original 7+ dominant figures in the league. But it's like
being 7'4", 7'9" don't hurt. In a tall man's
5
sport.
inches, that is big boy stuff. I mean,
nasty work.
I don't even know if he has to jump to dunk the ball, let alone just.
I was going to say, if this fails for him, if he has even like half-ass solid bone density, he could do MMA and crush people.
Oh yeah, he could do a lot. I mean, that's
if he can make 265.
and just like any other sport, I think the one thing that translates is your footwork. Does he have the good footwork? Is he able to actually move in his body? And does he have the basketball IQ?
Lateral movement.
Just like anything else, lateral movement, like positioning, knowing where you need to be in the paint.
The hand-eye coordination, making the reads.
Exactly.
It's the same in all sports.
Absolutely. So I think that's the one thing that translates. Everyone's getting bigger, better, faster, stronger, but that's let's call it. I mean, when we're talking history and setting Guinness World Records, that's legit.
Not super tuned in. No, stumbled across it from TSN of all places because the kid's Canadian. I agree with Nano, though. We're just going to keep finding more and more unicorns as time goes on. 100%, bro. There's something in the water. That and these like prime bloodlines, they skip decades, right? So like you're essentially getting like the prime Draculas of the fucking world coming back, but they're like 7'9" and 300 fucking pounds of mass. Like I was reading stats on the strongest, like most physical primed athletes after we watched the first half of the first episode of Physical Asia. To see Robert Whitaker on there. And great half of the episode so far. But like when I was looking this up, it's like this guy can lift, can squat 1.4 thousand pounds. And it's like a human being can do that? What do you mean he can deadlift 1.4 thousand pounds and he can squat 1,200 pounds? And that there are NFL players that can do bench press of 490 pounds for 41 reps. What do you mean? That's real? People can do that?
They're made like that?
I'm fucking heaving, getting up the damn 3 flights of stairs with 2 big 5-gallon jugs of water.
That's facts.
Bro, it's insane. It's like these guys are freak athletes, bro.
Literally. In the true sense of the definition there. Freaky
athletes. Speaking of freaky athletes and freaky fights in general, we have a lightweight bout between Chris Taco Padilla and Ismael Bonfim, another one of them Bonfim boys, coming in here in the lightweight division. This should be a fun little barn burner of a match for as long as it lasts. And I got my shot poured up from that last one, so I'm going to go ahead and do that before I jump into this breakdown. Folks, this is the part where I say, if you haven't already done it, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. You know the deal. You know the drill. And if you're drinking, please drink with us. If you're not drinking, that's fine too. Raw dog some oxygen. Stay hydrated and keep those lungs filled with air. Cheers to you.
Salud.
Now, when it comes to Chris Taco Padilla and Ismael Bonfim, Nato, I feel like we've gone back and forth on this a number of times.
We have.
Which Bonfim is it that you think is better?
Oh, man.
Who has a higher ceiling? It's Gabriel, right?
I mean, on paper, I guess that would be my formal answer.
I think he's more skilled and in a shallower weight class. So he has the higher ceiling in my humble opinion there. And it sounds like you agree. So I'll just say this. Ismael Bonfim has not really impressed me a ton. With what he has been able to do, he's looked good when he wins. However, unlike his brother, he doesn't just have the one loss. He's got 5. And those losses were not fantastic, right? Like, he lost to Nazim Salikhov, who, make no mistake, is an absolute beast, but he got the doctor stoppage on him in round 1. And he lost to Benny St. Denis just 2 years ago. His most notable wins in the UFC, or only wins in the UFC, actually, are Terrence McKinney and Vince Pichel. Vince Pichel had one foot out the door and was Twitch streaming 3 days a week. Shout out to his Twitch channel. It's a very fun watch. He's a cool dude. Basically just drinks beer, smokes weed, and plays video games. And Terrence McKinney, he was getting punched in the face, and I think he just kind of realized, this guy can't knock me out. I'm going to do whatever I want. And so he just threw like a 27 strike combo and finished him. Started throwing knees up the middle and shit. Like, come on, bro. I'm not impressed with him. Meanwhile, standing across from him, you got Chris Taco Padilla, who is a stud. I think this guy is another one of these phenoms that gets incredibly better every time we see him out there. He has not lost a fight since 2022 to Darren Smith. And that was before he made it to the UFC. Since making it to the UFC, he's beaten James Yontop, Rong Zhu, and Jai Black Country Banger Herbert, whose nickname I will say every time I say his fucking name. Chris is just impressive as all get out, bro. And also his nickname is Taco. And that makes me like him because I like tacos. So I'm going Chris Padilla here. I just think he's the better fighter. I think he's the sharper fighter, and I don't know if I'm sipping crazy juice or eating crazy pills this week, because we're 4 fights in and I'm 4 dogs down. I don't like it. Is Vegas fucking with me right now? Am I falling for the trap? What's happening, Nano? Are you seeing this one go differently?
Man, there's a lot happening. I don't think you're necessarily bamboozled. Tapology and us degenerate, true violent fan enthusiasts, and this is over 2,300 picks, are actually leaning Taco Chris Padilla. And I do think that's for a reason. Like, to stay with Chris here for a second, like, dude is a stud. He looked really, really well in his last performance, and that's the one that I really needed to see. It was a split decision against Jai Herbert, but he battled adversity. He weathered the storm, and he did look good. But again, we're talking about a Jai Herbert here. We're talking about somebody that is talented, but it's levels in this game, right? And when you look at Ismael Bonfim, the other Bonfim brother, man, it's hard for me to fade both of them. So I am leaning against the younger brother from the same mother, and I'm talking about Ismael. His last loss was against a Nazim Salikhov, who is well established, a stud. And other than that, his only other loss was to a Benoit Saint Denis via RNC. He's a guy. Like, he is a ranked fighter. He is still at the cream of the crop. I think those are good learning lessons for an Ismael Bonfim, though he was not necessarily the brother that got more of the hype. I'm channeling in my head a little bit of Warriors here, a little bit of a Tom Hardy, and I'm blanking on the other actor's name, but it's like the older brother gets all the hype, he had all the attention, but that does build a little bit of a complex for that younger, not as big, literally, brother. I think he's ready to show out, man. I'm going to go against the grain as far as Tapology is concerned. I do believe, I'm going to double check on DraftKings, I think Ismael is actually the Ben favorite at this point.
He is the favorite right now.
And it's hard for me to make a case against it because I've seen him do enough in the octagon. He is well-rounded, just like his brother, good everywhere. I can't necessarily say elite, borderline great in every facet of the game. But so is Taco, right? He's coming out of Cali, another Cali boy here. He does everything well. I do think this is going to be a nitty-gritty matchup. but I am leaning Mr. Bonfim, man. I do think he has enough. And like, if all hell breaks out, he can take Chris Padilla down and submit him. If they make it a true, boxing matchup, then honestly, Chris does have a really good chance, and I may fade him a little bit. But that boils down to the IQ. That boils down to the game plan. I just think that Ismael will do enough to mix it up and find a path to victory. But, man, this is a fun one. It is hard to choose because I do like both these fighters, but I'm going to be contrarian, man. I'm going Ismael Bonfim. But let us know in the comments, man, how y'all feeling? Am I crazy? Is Olin crazy? Is Mr. MMAnomaly just being the anomaly on this one? Tough to say, but we will find out Saturday. And, yeah, I'm going to be tuned in. That's what I do know.
I will definitely be tuned in, my friend. And with that, we move on into a middleweight bout between CLD Christian Leroy Duncan and Marco Tulio, who we had the pleasure of meeting at International Fight Week while he was with his girl, Big Norma Dumont. This is going to be a very fun fight in the middleweight division. I think it's great proving ground for Marco Tulio, as well as for CLD Christian Leroy Duncan. Nato, I'll let you take the lead on this one, let you take the reins. How do you see this one playing out? Are you with Vegas? Are you taking Marco?
Oh, man. I think I do actually have to disagree on this one. I do like a Marco Tulio. Tulio, excuse me, 14-1. We did meet him. He was with his girl, Norma Dumont. And let's call it what it is, but I'm pretty sure, was he married to Mackenzie Dern? Is that the same guy?
Was it?
Or am I thinking of someone else? Because I remember when Mackenzie Dern was fighting that it was her ex-husband. I'm pretty sure it was him, Matuto. Not that I'm really trying to have any freaking whereabout on my picks here, but Marco Tulio, fine with Chute Box, 14-1 record. He is the Ben favorite. 72% of Tapology believes that he is going to be.
Oh, no, you're talking to Antonio Tricoli.
Oh, shit. That's on me. Well, either way, listen, y'all, I do like Marco Tulio. I do think he's a great fighter. And he is coming off 4 knockouts in a row. But, man, I mean, CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan, he is the type of fighter that he goes out there and is looking for the finish as well. Spinning back elbow against an Eric Anders just 2 months ago in 3 weeks. A couple other wins outside of that. He did lose to Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez, but let's call it what it is. Gregory RoboCop is a stud, so I don't hold that one against him. Before that, knocked out a Claudio Ribeiro, knocked out a Denis Tulien. I mean, just the numbers, or at least the history, suggests that both these guys are going to be looking for the finish. But who's the more exciting guy? Who's the guy that I think can go out there and win against all odds? He may need one of those speeches from Leon Edwards, and you'll give it everything you got, Rocky. We'll go out there and beat him then. I think he might just go
Stop letting him bully you.
Don't let him bully you, mate. I'll qualify right now. But no, man, I mean, all jokes aside, I do think Christian Leroy Duncan is a smooth striker. He has all the tools to go out there and get it done. I got to go with my gut, and I'm fading Matuto a little bit here. Marco Tulio, equally talented, but he's not really faced the same level of competition as a Christian Leroy Duncan, and he is a true step up when it comes to just the skill set. He's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage with only 2 inches of actual height differential. Man, I felt really stupid, honestly. Now I was leaning into that Mackenzie Dern take. I remember them saying ex-husband, and I could have swore I got my handsome Brazilians mixed up. But
it happens.
Give me CLD. Give me CLD here, man. And it looks like Lethal Sugar's with me. This
is exactly what the point I was going to make. I'm high on CLD, but I think he's pretty hittable, and that worries me a bit. He is extremely hittable. He is another linear fighter that just moves forward and backward, keeps his head on the center line. He's very durable, which is good for that style, but it's not a longevity style. It's not something that I think is going to be smart against somebody like a Marco Tulio. And speaking of who they fought, right? I know the strength of schedule and who they have fought. Obviously, the opposition has the better fights under his belt. But has he ever fought himself from Bizarro World, Nato? Because Marco Tulio has a win over a man named Tulios Marco.
Oh, jeez.
I shit you not. Scroll down his Tapology.
Oh, jeez. I'm looking now. How does that even happen?
Sorry, Tulio Marcos. Tulio, which is his last name, and this guy's first name.
Oh,
and his last name is Marcos.
Wow.
That's incredible. Does he have a picture? Is he a real guy? It's a totally different guy. It's a bald guy.
And he's 2-9 in his UFC career. So doesn't help to be on the what is the Stranger Things thing? Down or the other side, the underwhelm.
Lazy. That's not even a hot take. Well, it is a hot take and a different kind of hot. You know what I'm saying? He said, my hot take is that Tulio is oversexed from being with Big Norm and he'll gas out early. Man. Dude, yeah, imagine trying to commentate that fight. Oh, Tulio is in on a deep rear naked choke on Tulio here. Oh, man, what does Tulio need to do to get out of this? Well, what Tulio needs to do is he wants to really separate his right knee from Tulio's left leg here.
That is a tongue twister at its finest.
Would not be a fun night at the office. One of my favorite random commentary clips is when these like regional commentators were commentating on a dude whose name is Uranus. Or sorry, Myanus.
Oh.
It's like Mianus. And he's like, oh, my anus really does not want to be in this position right now. There were so many gold clips, bro. Like, it was so fucking funny. I'll have to find it and send it to you later. With that being said, let's move on into the prelims, folks. We have a featherweight bout between Hyder, Amil, and Jamall, Emmers. Sorry, just to finish my thought on Marco Tulio. I think he does come in with a bit of a reach deficit here, right? But he's also going to come out here and have a lot of power in his hands. He typically does work in the pocket, and that's where he'll be doing most of this work, having a 74.5-inch reach against a 79-inch reach that CLD brings in. He'll have to work his way inside of that pocket, go to the body early, and then go up top for the win. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I see him finishing this fight in the first or second round. And with that being said, I'm not betting on it. He's a favorite. I do think it's a close fight, like Nano's alluding to. Not going to say that he's wrong in his breakdown because it could play out exactly as he said. So with that, we move on into the featherweight division for Hyder Amil versus Jamall Emmers. This is it's an interesting one, right? You're talking about a guy that's damn near undefeated in Hyder Amil. He's 11-1, coming in against Jamall Emmers, who's 21-8, damn near a 500 fighter with his professional record. But that being said, the Hurricane still has almost 3 times the number of professional fights under his belt. That does mean a lot, right? You win or you learn in this sport, and that means he's had a lot of time to learn, a lot of time to adapt. He's also coming off of a loss. Amil is coming off of a loss, so he has something to prove. Jamall Pretty Boy Emmers has been up and down in his UFC career in general, right? Win, loss, win, loss, win. He's 3-2 in his last 5 right now. Whereas the Hurricane Hyder Amil, he's only had the one blemish on his record, and that was against Jose Delgado, who can get just about anybody, right? He hit him with a knee, clean, dead to rights, and then he finished up with a couple of grounded strikes to get it home in just 26 seconds. So I think that was a fluke. The Hurricane didn't even get a chance to get started, to get warmed up, and man. I think the Hurricane goes out here and does Hurricane things. I'm going Hurricane Hyder Amil. I'm following Vegas on this one, and I'll probably be getting back to my dogs soon after. Nano, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. This is a close bout. It's funny because on Tapology, they're as a betting like virtual pick'em, but when I pull up my DraftKings, I want to double check. Hyder is the Ben favorite at -142. That's where you're getting right here, right now. Jamall Emmers +120. But man, this is the battle of the Cali boys, right? In a lot of sense, we got Jamall Emmers coming out of Redlands, California. Used to fight with Eagle FC. You may not have heard that name in a while, but that is Khabib's fighting championship organization. And
send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
And forget about it. The fact that Jamall even got the nod to fight with those guys is actually weighs some merit in my book. That means he's an absolute dog. He is coming in with more fighting experience. 36 years old, 21-8. His only losses, one of them being to the train on the tracks there. We're talking about Nate the Train Landwehr, who knocked him out about a year and 7 months ago. And then he did lose a split decision to a Jack Jenkins, who is also a stud, 11-2 record. You got to be great to beat him. But I do think that's what Hyder Amil is. Representing the Bay, you know what time it is. Also from the Philippines. Man, I like what I've seen from Hyder Amil, and you painted the picture perfectly. Up until his loss against a Jose Delgado, which landed a solid strike on him, knocked him out. That was 4 months ago. Before then, split decision win against a William Gomes, knockout against a Jang Young Lee, knocked out our boy Fernie Garcia, and then he won his Dana White Contender Series finale as well. I think he is poised to go out there and get the job done. He is absolutely talented. He packs a lot of power in that punch. Though he is losing 4 inches of reach advantage, he's a phone booth fighter, as we like to say. He likes to be up close and personal. He's got great uppercuts. He's got great skills, great reactions. And I think he has a point to prove coming off that loss, his only loss in his UFC career, in his professional mixed martial arts career, I should say. Let me reiterate that. I guess it is both apply. But 11-1 record for our boy Hyder Amil. I'm repping the Bay, and you know what it is, man. That's it. Yay area. Stand up if you're with me. Can't bet against our boy. Let's go. And he's built a little different, man. I mean, if you know, you know. Like
Hurricane Hyder, scrap pack.
Ton of talent out there in the Bay.
Yay area. Let's go, lazy bet.
That's it, man. That's what it's all about. Ski yee. Yee.
You already know what it is, baby. With that being said, Nano, let's go ahead and jump into this fucking bantamweight banger, as I like to call it, between Ricky Simón and Raoni Barcelos. I'm going to pour up another shot for this one because this is going to make me reference something that was one of our first pieces of merch that I designed. Look, when it comes to Ricky Simón, I don't think there's a better descriptive term for him other than a meat and potatoes fighter, right? The dude is as meat and potatoes as it gets. He's got a good hook. He's got a good cross. He's got a good jab. He's got good grappling. He is a jack of all trades. I would say a master of not really any, right? Like he's really good at everything, but he's not perfect at any one thing. Whereas Raoni Barcelos, he's a specialist. He's scrappy with the way that he throws strikes. Those from weird looping angles where they catch you off guard. And those are the ones that hurt the worst, as we all know. And he also is just an elite level, an elite tier grappler, specifically in the realm of BJJ, right? His wrestling is okay, but his BJJ specifically is top tier. I would say what he has in BJJ, Ricky Simón should be able to make up for in two things. One, his ability himself in grappling overall, as well as his overall athleticism. He is an athlete. He make no mistake about it. Ricky Simón is the better athlete coming into the fight on Saturday night. However, Raoni Barcelos, in my humble opinion, is the better mixed martial artist. He knows how to mix it up better. And I think that, again, this is one of those moments or fights where if Ricky Simón goes out there and he gets sloppy for even just a half second, he's going to get his neck taken. Or he's at the very least going to end up on his back or flat on his tummy in a very bad situation, eating strikes from the top, because Raoni's an active guy. We saw what he did to a Peyton Talbot out there. And I don't doubt that he can do something very similar to Ricky Simón. Ricky will scramble his way out of it a little bit better than Peyton did. He'll have a better gas tank because we don't see Ricky tire, right? But we also don't see Raoni get tired out there. Like, get fired. I got 6 jobs. I don't get tired. Like he's that guy, bro. He don't get tired. So I really got to be honest with you. I'm liking the dog again here, bro. The dog's bark in the backyard, and Raoni's one of them dogs. Plus 145 feels very enticing to me. I might have to do at least a half unit on it, but I mean, if you're on the same boat, I might be talked into a unit. And with that, I got a shot. Folks, we appreciate you. Oh, here we go.
Here we go now. Oops,
this one's for the old dogs on the card. We got a lot of representation for the old ones, and we appreciate them just like we appreciate y'all. Let's fucking go. Cheers to that.
Hello.
Now let's see. Man. Are we breaking the stride again? Are you going old dog, or are you sticking with the young man?
I'm sticking with the young man. We are splitting past a little bit here, but and when you look at this matchup,
5-year difference statistically leads to a 64% win ratio for the younger man. So you're not crazy for doing it.
It's not super far fetched. Ricky Simón is fine with American Top Team. I feel like he really has hit his stride more so as of recent. And yes, you can make the case he's 2-3 in his last 5. But look at who he's been up against. He's been fighting the best of the best since he's really made a name for himself. He lost against the Yadong Song. He lost against Mario Batista, took him to decision. And then he lost to Vinicius, a.k.a. Vicious Oliveira. Especially that loss, it aged very, very well, like a fine wine, because Vinicius is vicious as he can get. And I do think that when you put him in there against the same caliber people, even a undefeated Javid Basharat went out there, took care of business, knocked him out just this same year. And he had a 14-0 record. Yeah, I do like what I'm seeing. And then a Cameron Smotherman, which, that I feel like he should have went out there and took care of that business. Raoni Barcelos, yes, he is on a Barcelos, excuse me. He is on a 3-fight win streak. He is 3-2. So history would certainly suggest that the older, more gritty fighter would go out there and win. But, against a Peyton Talbot who really doesn't have a true wrestling game whatsoever. Cody Garbrandt as well. Ricky's just a different beast, man. I do think that he has that durability. He has that wrestling background. And like I said, he's just a vicious dog when he goes out there and sets his mind to it. He's on a heater. I'm going Ricky, man. I can't bet against the Ben favorite. 71% of Tapology agrees with me here. Most of them do believe, 85% to be exact, do believe that it will go to decision. And I think that's just compliments to how tough and durable both these fighters are. But I'm going to take Ricky Simón to go out there and find a way to get it done.
I don't mind it, man. I don't mind it. Like I said, it's smart money. So with that being said, we move into the women's bantamweight division. Same weight class, different gender. Talking about a Mayra, Bueno, Silva, Shitara coming in against Jacqueline, Cavalcanti. Not I'll let you take the lead on this one. How do you see this one playing out between the ladies?
Another banger of a fight here, stylistically. We got number 10 bantamweight in the world against number 11. I do like Jacqueline Cavalcanti, but I'm leaning Mayra Bueno Silva. I don't know why. It's just something about her that makes me think that she has enough dog in her. She's got the submission wins. She can go the distance if she needs to. I think I'm already kind of regretting it because I do like Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I do think she has a lot of skills. Great fucking toolbox in her shed. Man, but I see Mayra Bueno Silva. She's been in there against the literal who's who. She's beat and she's lost against some of the top, the cream of the crop, if you will. But it's not about what you did in the past. It's what you do now. And I do think that she'll go out there and find a way to get done. I don't love it. I'll be honest. I do like Jacqueline Cavalcanti. And I'm betting the underdog here, but I could be wrong, my brother. Talk me out of it, man. How you feeling about this one?
Oh man, this one I've actually gone back and forth about, if I'm being honest. Like Mayra Bueno Silva is one of these gals that's able to fight her way through attrition and find her way to victory. But she's coming in against a real young and real scary nightmare of a woman, pun intended, in the nightmare, Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I gotta side with Tapology, man. 2151 voted on this, and 86% of them are leaning towards Cavalcanti. I don't know that she'll be able to finish somebody as durable as Shitara, but it's a good thing that 6 out of her 9 wins have come by way of decision. That's 67% of them. And if you look at her last handful, right? Zara Farn, her UFC debut, Josiane Nunez, Nora Cornole, who we just saw fight last weekend, and Julia Avila, who just came off of a stunning win over Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She got wins over all 4 of those ladies via decision. So she's used to going the distance. She's trained for the 15 minutes. I got to lean with my gut here and not my heart. I'm going Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I'm going with the young gun for a change. I think it's going to be a real changing of the guard kind of fight. LazyBet said Mayra Bueno Silva hasn't been the same since the win over Holly, where let's not forget she tested positive for ADHD meds. Fair play. Makes a difference. Definitely going to amp up your fight IQ if your brain's functioning on a higher level, yeah? In the next bout, we have one of the most annoying men I've ever seen on the mic, outside of like a Sean Strickland, talking about a heavyweight, Josh, the Incredible Hokin, coming in against Mac Gimenis. I mean, this is just a very, very weird fight. This Hokit guy, he got on the mic and said that he wanted to fight transgenders and like he was just a weird post-fight thing after he won his Contender Series bout. I'll be honest, I don't want to see the guy win, but I do think he's probably going to. It feels like they're giving him a step up, almost a gimme fight against Max Gimenis, who is good in his own right. He's 6-1, but again, like he's not on the same level. He's coming out of Shogun Fight Series, and other than that, he's done some grappling at the Craig Jones Invitational, the first one. He lost to Nick Rodriguez. He also competed at ADCC Worlds, lost to Felipe Pena. So the dude is an elite level grappler, but he's going against someone who has genuine knockout power, who's going to be hitting him every time he's shooting him for a takedown. So give me Josh Hokit. Give me the Incredible Hulk inside the distance. Will I be betting on it? Nope, not at all. Now I know how you see it playing out.
Yeah, I think we're going to want to avoid this one from a betting perspective, but I'm with you. We're finally back on track. I'm taking Josh Hokit as well. Reason being, you mentioned some things as well that certainly would want me to fade a Max Gimenis, but man, Josh Hokit, he used to play in the NFL. He is a dual sport athlete. He is as athletic as can be. I think he favors much better than a Austin Lane or a Greg Hardy. Not coming in with as much baggage, but I do think stylistically, the Incredible Hulk, which is a fucking great nickname, 6-0 record. His opponent 6-1, so it's not like Max. Oh, excuse me. Burps from all those shots. It's hard for me to bet against the Ben favorite here at minus 425, aka Mr. Hulk, or Incredible Hulk, I should say. Which, a little wordplay there. Fine with Jackson Wink and the boys. I do think he's going to be prepared at a minimum. He has that gas tank again. He was a legitimate professional athlete in football, which is one of the hardest sports to crack into and become a professional in. So now he's coming in here and he's, switching gears a little bit. But again, I do think he stands a much better chance than some of the other NFL guys that have come into the UFC octagon. 27 years young. He's going to have 5 years of youth. So that can certainly suggest that he should be the one you want to put your money on. But anything can happen in this heavyweight division. So staying away from it when it comes to our, Ben parlays and things like that. But I am taking Josh Hokit, the dual sport athlete, coming in and hopefully making a name for himself. Let's go.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Always love an excuse to play that one. Now, the next fight, I got to tell you, probably the most disrespectful line on the card outside of the Matt Schnell fight. Women's strawweight bout between Tecia Pennington, formerly Tecia Torres, the Tiny Tornado, coming in against Denise Gomes. I get it, right? Denise Gomes, young, up-and-comer. But, let's just look at the actual spread here, right? You're talking about Tecia fucking Torres. Someone who's fought for the belt. Someone who's been in this game for over a decade. And, I mean, the disrespect to have her as even a plus 100 dog in this one just doesn't seem right to me. Plus 145 feels disrespectful as hell. I just don't know how this one plays out, though. This is one that I've gone back and forth on. I'm going to let you take the lead on it while I come to my final conclusion here. But, man, this is just the line on this one is just interesting to me. It feels disrespectful.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, I think you could certainly make a case for Denise Gomes, a.k.a. D's nuts, on a 3-fight win streak. She is the Ben favorite. She's 11 years younger than a Tecia Pennington, a.k.a. the Tiny Tornado. But I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a tornado blunder come in here and just shock the world, shock your home cities that are ever impacted by a tornado. Stylistically, I think she has enough grit. I think she has the Muay Thai background that even if Denise is going to try to get some takedowns and make it a grindy, windy fight, I do think that Tecia Tiny Tornado Pennington has answers in every bit of, or I guess in every facet of the mixed martial arts game. I'm taking Tecia as well, brother. Is that the vibes here? What are you thinking?
I like Tecia, bro. I'll be honest, I really do. And again, like if we look at the fights recently for Denis, her more recent wins are over Elise Reed, which of course nasty work. She got a left hook, finished up by grounded strikes. Awesome finish in the second round, just 30 seconds in. Before that was Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She got a unanimous decision. It was a close fight, 29-28 on 2 judges' scorecards. And then Eduarda Mayra, she got a split decision over, and some people don't think she actually won that fight. She got outclassed by Aluma Lukbonmi, who is much smaller than her and much smaller than Tecia Torres. So with that being said, I mean, the fact that Luma was able to go out there and do that to her, what's Tecia going to do to her? Like, she has even more tenure, even more acumen, even more skill and knowledge in her belt. The only thing that she has is maybe less calcium in her bones because of her age. But at the same time, like, last thing to go is power, and she's got power, especially in those side kicks that she likes to throw. Very Muay Thai / TKD style. She has I think a Taekwondo black belt. She's nasty in it, bro. Like the way that she steps into that side kick, real shuffle movement. I'm excited for this one. And I do think that Vegas maybe got it wrong, and they're going to have to put some respect on Tecia's name. Tecia's been asking for a contender for many years now, and it feels like they just keep feeding her these up-and-comers. And Denise Gomes with a win over her, it would be a huge, huge win for Tecia. They'd have to give her a top 10 opponent. And if Denise Gomes in the same vein beats a legend in the sport like Tecia Torres, you know she's going to call for a top 5 or a top 10 at the very least. So great fight for both women. I'm taking the dog just like you. And Rob Rex in the chat, the fucking boys, let's fucking go. 1 week closer to JDM versus Islam. My guy. Cannot wait to watch that fight and then tell all the JDM fans.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
You know what I'm saying, brother? I know you don't like this. I know you don't like this, but inshallah. You know what I'm saying, brother? Let's go. And with that, let's go into the next fight. We have the second to last one of the night here, folks. It is a bantamweight fight between Miles Johns coming in against Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos has looked absolutely incredible. He's 17-1. His most recent fight was his first loss. It was against our guy. You know who I'm talking about, Montel Jackson. Quick. That man wears such a large glove, larger one than even Francis Ngannou. As Trump would say, it's huge. The glove is huge. They have to make it custom, you know. So with that, I got to tell you, like a loss to this guy is not something that is heavily weighted in my humble opinion. And if that's the only blemish on your record, you're probably going to beat most guys that stand across from you inside of that UFC octagon. So I think this isn't going to be any different, right? I think Daniel Sankora Marcos is going to beat Miles Chapo Johns, and I think he's probably going to do it via decision. Chapo is very hard to put away, very durable, very granite-like in his chin strength, but he has lackluster skills, right? I feel like wherever this fight goes, grappling, striking, standing up at range, getting into a Muay Thai clinch up against the cage, Marcos should look to be a level ahead or a step ahead anywhere that this fight goes. So, yeah, I mean, Rob Rex says Daniel's good, but I thought he lost to Yanez too. That was a close fight. It was a very close fight. If I remember correctly, I think I had Yanez up as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, that you're absolutely right. Those are fair points. And I do think it's one of those things where if you continue to win 17-0 record before that loss to a Montel's quick as nails, quick and swift and shifty, Montel Jackson. Other than that, I mean, dude, he's literally been perfect, for lack of a better phrase. And he's a little bit of the older fighter by 1 year. You got a Miles John who lost to a Jean Matsumoto via split decision a couple months ago. Lost to a Felipe Lima, who was also, you know, a 13-1 fighter at the time. Man, it's hard for me to, as much as I want to root for the Dallas, Texas kid, I really like what I've seen from Daniel Marcos, man. He's scrappy. He is super freaking tough. He should go out there and find a way to get it done. All else fails with the striking pedigree, he's going to go out there and wrestle him, have the control time. but he is violent enough to win in those exchanges as well. I know we've talked about it in the past where just because you have ground control doesn't mean it's a clear path to victory. But he is also very, very violent. I do think he'll find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think it comes inside the distance for him. I think Miles is too durable. I think he outpoints him. I think he takes it to a grindy decision, but he should outclass him out there. Speaking of odd fights that we're sad about, we are sad to have Adrian Yanez and Christian Quinones stripped from the fight card. That sucks. Big fan of Adrian Yanez. But we almost lost Jackson Mcvey as well, a.k.a. Jesus Christ, if you look at his picture. That's what he looks like. He was supposed to fight Robert Valentine, the guy that had the Nordic Stones and slept outside in the Tough House, or outside of the Tough House, I should say. Now instead, your guy, your Man Crush Monday, he's stepping in on a Thursday to fight on a Saturday against Jackson Mcvey. We're talking about a Zachary Reese. I'm going to let you take the lead on this because I feel like I know who you're going to go with. And you know what? Vegas likes where your head's at.
Yeah, Vegas likes where her head's at. Everyone on Tapology that has at least picked this fight thus far is going 100%. My boy Zachary Reese. He poses a lot of threats, and I do think it's.
I've actually never seen a 100% before. That's hilarious.
It's pretty crazy. And it's weird with the Moose, man. I mean, Jackson Mcvey, he was supposed to fight one guy, and then Dante Johnson accepted it, but then that didn't end up happening. I was shocked when he sent me the update that Zachary Reese did step in on super short notice. I wonder what happened to Dante Johnson. Maybe he just wasn't able to cut the weight again. I mean, literally less than a week. That's tough to do as far as the true weight cut is concerned. But yeah, I like Zachary Reese in this one, man. I do think that he poses a lot of threats. He's tall. He's tough as nails. And in this kind of catchweight fight, I think he'll, do his blessings, do his rosemary, count his confessions as he beats the JC, aka Jesus Christ. Talking about a Jackson Mcvey. I just think he's stronger, bigger, faster, does everything the right way. Even though they're both 6'4", they both have a 77-inch reach. This is a catchweight, so that to me favors the newer fighter, the guy that didn't wear himself out during the training camp, and just the shock factor too. I just hard for me to bet against my boy Zachary Reese, but you're not as biased as I am. You're gonna give us a good breakdown, man. How you feeling about this one?
I'll be honest, man. I didn't know a ton about Jackson Mcvey when he came into the UFC, and when he did, I decided to do some tape study on him. Obviously, right? Wanted to see what the Moose was all about in that debut, and I looked at it. I saw a guy that stands very upright, has nice power in both sides, hands and feet, but he's also very hittable. And he got lit up by Bruno Ferreira, who then got him on the ground and armbarred the fuck out of him. I think Zach Reese should probably be able to do similar stuff, man. If I had to be a betting man, I would probably say that Zach Reese goes to the body early on and just starts hitting hard, man. He's going to go to the body, then start working his way up the elevator, go up top, and then the lights will go out in Vegas, my guy. I'm going Zachary Reese on this all day. I'm not going to bet on it, though. Too short notice and minus 305. There's just no juice in that squeeze for me, my guy. So that's it, man. My bets are the ones that I've already said. And, of course, we did a half unit on Miles Johns. He's part of our 3-leg parlay here for funsies. Why not? Why not? I did a Matt Schnell, Randy Brown, and Miles Johns parlay because, again, why the fuck not? Crazy odds on it. Miles Johns does have a shot in this. I do think Daniel Marcos likely wins it. That's why we've got some straight bets outside of that, which will definitely cover the blows and help us stack those pennies for more rainy days, folks. Before we jump off here, LazyBet said NSAC wouldn't clear Dante Johnson. There was some brief confusion whether they would, but ultimately he got medically withheld. That's what happened. Thanks for the heads up on that. I was wondering why Dante didn't end up getting the shot because I heard that he was trying to step up again after his fight last week. That would have been crazy, huh? Like crazy activity for a newcomer like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that also shows a willingness, and that means we'll probably see him November, December, some point in time, either this month or next. With that being said, folks, if you haven't already done so, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications, and we appreciate each and every one of you for being here. After the show wraps up, refresh the stream, leave a comment, Let us know if you're leaving any bets that you're feeling bullish on so we can tell you. And until the next time, please do us this last favor. We ask that you keep on going, and we ask that you keep on growing. And we really, really hope we see you next week.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.